Welcome back to Evansville and Janesville, a slice of Americana.
Yeah, the history of Janesville is very interesting. The Lincoln Tallman House is a really spectacular place to see.
It's a pre-Civil War antebellum home. Mr. Tallman builds this home after he moves here from New York. He is in the Janesville area because he is land speculating. In 1855, he begins construction on this home. It's a 10,000 square foot Italianate style architecture home. It has 5 floors going from the basement to the cupola. It takes him 2 years to build it. So in 1857, he completes the home for the cost of about $42,000 in gold in the 1850s.
So, okay, so $42,000,
Yeah.
gold bullion. Back in the late 1800s. What would that convert to roughly in modern dollars?
What I've kind of researched is anywhere from $2.5 million to around $5 million, and that's just to build and construct the home. That's not to put any furnishings in it.
It's a sort of space that I would love to live if it had running water, toilets, and, you know, I had $5 million.
With our traditional tour, we start in the drawing room, and we start there because that is the most formal room in the home.
75% of the furnishings in the Lincoln Tallman House are original to the Tallman family, including the sheets on the Lincoln bed. Lincoln stayed there for 2 nights, and I got to lay there for 15 minutes.
Janesville's got a lot of history. I think a lot of people don't realize that the Janesville Performing Arts Center is also a major player when it comes to the rich history in this town.
I love getting to be someone else for a while, and you know, in real life you don't get to break into song and dance, usually without people thinking that you're very strange. The performing arts scene in Janesville is really amazing.
I love how Janesville embraces history in its arts. The fact that somebody came in here and wanted to preserve the beauty that was in here means a lot to me. The greatest actress or actor in the world might not be Meryl Streep, or it might not be Robert De Niro, but it might be someone doing community theater in the middle of Arkansas or the middle of Wisconsin.
Janesville has a fascinating history, but so does Evansville. It has been said that Evansville has the finest collection of 1840s to 1915 architecture than any small town in Wisconsin. What does the historic walking tour entail exactly?
We've got 4 different suggested tours, each of them with a different theme, looking at different parts of the city, describing the historic buildings, the people who lived here, the architectural styles, that sort of thing.
And I know that there's a lot of history behind this particular home here.
It was built in the late 1850s as a doctor's home and office, and it has evolved in its uses since then. At one time, it was a cooperative where laundry and cooking and dining was done for the whole neighborhood. But since 1930, it's been a funeral home.
I think when I was little, I thought this was the White House.
It's got that look. This is a 1910 American craftsman house, and it was built by one of the master builders here in Evansville. Many of the houses that we see on the tour were built by particularly good local carpenters. And he was building in the style that was popular at the time.
And that's a craftsman
Right,
style? Okay,
right.
All right. On to the Tudor, because I am loving that one.
We are looking at a 1925 Tudor revival house that was designed by a well-known Madison architect. And this is part of the Leota Park, Grove Street portion of the tour. This neighborhood is listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
It looks like it could be straight out of a fairy tale.
Yeah,
it really
exactly.
does. Yeah, the Hansel and Gretel type of home.
Right.
I was obsessed with this house when I was a kid.
I can imagine.
I loved it.
It's a 1910 Queen Anne, so it's completely different from other styles we see elsewhere in town, but common to Evansville. It was once, as you may know, a boarding school for girls.
What do you think people get out of the tour, whether they're from here or not?
Well, I think they get an exposure to a genuine small town, and some people have said, oh, it's like visiting a Norman Rockwell painting come to life. So it's got that quality.
Yeah, slice of Americana.
Right.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more after this break.